Hey everyone, it's Hairyfrankfurt and welcome to today's video about my ex-boyfriend trying to kill himself because I went outside. You guys should know about the relationship that I had a few years ago. I really hope you don't know who with because that would ruin everything. Basically, we lived together. I was in charge of pretty much all the chores and I wouldn't say earning the majority of the money, but giving majority of the money that I earned to... Actually, maybe I gave all of our money, or my money. It wasn't our money. He tried to do that, but that's another story. So, we lived together, and, you know, for the first several months, I don't know how long we lived together for. I think it was just 1 year, and just that you know, I have tried to film this before, so that's why I'm kind of like jumping ahead a bit, and I'm trying not to because I want you guys to get a full picture in your mind of what was going on in my life in the time. This boyfriend of mine, we had been dating for 2 years at school, like in high school, and then we moved in together. I think it would have been, I don't know, we moved in together the year after school and we moved out to this apartment together, and I was getting away from my family, I was getting away from a lot of the stresses in my life, and I was trying to kind of become this mature, responsible wife type thing. And one of the responsible, mature wife type things that I decided in my head was that I was not going to let a drop of alcohol pass my lips, and that that was the wrong thing to do. And when we were dating in high school, my boyfriend agreed with me wholeheartedly, like, no drugs, no alcohol, no nothing like that. It's all bad, you know, you got to stay clean. You know, he was into like physical exercise and various martial arts, and we will get to that. And so he was very health conscious, very no drinking, no drugs, you know, exercise, all that stuff. And I thought that was great when we were dating in high school. And then when we started living together, he kind of lost a lot of those things because he worked in an electronics shop. Then he got fired from that job, I'm pretty sure, and then he got another job in a bank. Now please do not take everything I say as Bible, because this guy did lie to me quite a lot, and again, you'll see that in just a minute. So whether he got fired from that job or whether he quit that job, whether he got made redundant, I really have no idea, because I heard all three of those versions of the story where he quit, so he got fired and was made redundant all in the same, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. What does it say on your like notice of leave or whatever it is? Anyway, so he was working in a bank, I'm pretty sure, and he went out, this is a long time ago, so I'm going to kind of give loose guesstimations of how he made friends with these people that literally have nothing to do with anyone that I know or anything to do with anyone that he knew at the time. But essentially, he made friends with these two older guys that lived together. One was a gay guy and one was the father of a girl our age. And I don't know if it was like he made friends, no, because he didn't know the girl. Because after he dumped me, after I dumped him, he started dating her. Again, I'm jumping ahead and I apologize. But he met these two guys that lived together in a city apartment, and if you don't know, city apartments are freaking expensive. And my ex was pretty money obsessed, if you couldn't tell. Well, maybe you couldn't tell, I haven't really mentioned that part. He was really money obsessed. So when he saw these two rich old men buying him drinks, one of which was gay, he was all for it. He loved it. And I was still in that mindset where I was like, listen, I can't drink, I don't do this, like, it's just not who I am, I can't, I'm sorry, like, da-da-da-da-da. And then I realized how boring it is to be a housewife at 18 years old. Because I was doing the dishes, I was doing the cooking. 9 times out of 10, my cooking wasn't good enough, and it was at his request. I was, you know, not allowed to do a whole bunch of stuff. I had to be home at a certain time, and I was working at a store with someone. Okay, so he used to work at this store, kind of. He had a relative that worked at the store, and so because of that he got like casual shifts there. It was, I guess, contractual work. He wasn't on the roster. So that's how he knew people at this store, and he'd known them for longer. And one of the girls was a little bit older than us, but she became one of my friends when I started working there, because I started working at this shop. And one week, or whenever, decided that she wanted to invite me to an event that she was going to out in Fortitude Valley, which is like the nightlife area. And it was the first time I had ever been, like ever ever, ever, ever. And of course I had to ask permission from my boyfriend to be allowed to go to this event. And I had to give him the details of who was going to be there, who I was going to be with, how long I was going to be out, and I had to promise to text him, I think it was every half hour or every hour, or I had to call him. No, I had to text him, and if he called me, I had to answer the phone. I don't know if I promised to not get drunk or if I promised to not drink or something, but obviously things changed because I did end up drinking and I didn't get drunk, which was great. I had told him that I was going to be home by 11 o'clock because I thought that that was like, whoa, that was a generous amount of time to give me to go out. Now I know that, you know, 6 in the morning is generally when I get home. So I decided that 11 p.m. I would be home. I would text him every half hour, and if he ever called me, I would answer. Or there was some agreement to that extent because I couldn't tell him all of the people that were going to be there because they were all her friends because I didn't have any friends. So I said, listen, I'm going to be with your friend and you can call me. You have her number. I'm not going to leave her side. You really have nothing to worry about. And he did. He had nothing to worry about. But I had so much fun. Okay, I was gonna say it got good, but it didn't get good. It got fun. It was great. It was a great time. I had never been out, so it was like an absolute miracle to me. Well, it wasn't a miracle to me, but it was amazing to like go out and meet people. I was meeting my friends' friends and their friends and people that came along with them, and it just, there were so many people, and it took me by surprise that they were talking to me because I was normally that nobody that was put in the corner that no one spoke to, and I was having a great time. And because of that, unfortunately, I must have missed out on one of the texts, or I didn't answer one of my partner's phone calls. Whatever happened, I was late home. On the way, oh my god, this story gets so deep, so crazy. Okay, so what happened this night was my friend had invited me out to this event where we were gonna meet up with someone she was seeing and his friends, and then there were other friends there, obviously. And we went back to one of these friends of friends' apartments in the valley and we're drinking, and it was a great time, and I was late. Unfortunately, I was late home, and because of that, I started getting all of these text messages and calls. And I swear to God, I wish I still had these text messages, but they went along the lines of, I'm going to kill myself, I'm killing myself. Like I mentioned, this guy used to do kung fu and he had a lot of swords. He was apparently stabbing himself with these swords. He was drinking this like muscle ointment called liniment stuff, which is obviously poison. So he was apparently drinking poison, he was mixing different poisons, he was stabbing himself with knives, and there was an ambulance on the way, and I'm freaking out. The one time that I had gone out, my boyfriend kills himself. What on earth are you kidding me? The one time, man, my timing is terrible. So the last thing I hear from him is the ambulance is on their way, and I think I tried to call him and he was like, baby, like he sounded like he was dying. Like, I get there's no ambulance anywhere, so I thought, okay, obviously they've taken him to the hospital. I get upstairs, he's just in bed. Nothing wrong with him, nothing wrong. I think he had a few like marks on his chest and stuff from where he tried to stab himself, and he's like, no, my skin is impenetrable because of all of my conditioning. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at it and I shouldn't be, but look, this guy had basically used suicide and self-harm as a way to get me to come home from the first night that I had gone out. The first night that I had had a great time and met people and like was being my age, because I think I was 18, potentially 19 at the time, and I was hanging out with people my age and I was doing things that people my age do. I wasn't sitting at home playing World of Warcraft. I wasn't sitting at home cleaning up the dishes or, you know, painting my nails over and over and over and over and over again because that was all I was allowed to do. I wasn't being secluded from the world. I wasn't waiting for my boyfriend to get home from when he went out with his boyfriends. I say that very loosely. I don't actually think he did anything with them, but I wouldn't say no. You know, I was putting myself out there and I was having a great time and I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was surprised that people wanted to talk to me because like I was shocked that, I mean, look at me, why would you? So that is the story of when my boyfriend tried to or pretended to kill himself because I went out and had a good time. I have two morals to this story. First of all, nobody should ever joke about suicide or self-harm for any reason, ever. Absolutely ever. Like, that is an absolute, oh, it makes me sick to my stomach. As a person who is on a very high level of antidepressants, who has recovered from self-harm and a whole bunch of other stuff, you do not do that, and I think that's why he did it. He did it, my understanding of why he used that specific reason for me to come home was because he knew it was a soft spot for me. And that's low. And even if it weren't a point of concern for me, if I were just any individual, you don't joke about something that serious to the point of saying there's an ambulance on the way and then not answering your phone because you're now in the ambulance. Like, he literally had this entire thing. I'm sorry, I'm still so upset by this. And my second thing is that next time I'm ever in a relationship, I'm gonna make sure that I don't date anyone who does that. But also, I kind of want to date someone who has no problem having their own life and letting me have mine. Because that is a massive part of a partnership, is having two individuals or independents. And if you don't have your independence when you come into a relationship, and you don't have like a, you know, I enjoy doing such and such and such and such, and I will continue doing these things and try and fit you into that, then obviously the relationship is not going to work. So that is my relationship advice. Not that I've been very successful thus far, but I'm learning from my mistakes. I'm trying to anyways. I hope it helps you guys with your relationship woes. Don't ever joke about suicide or self-harm or any form of mental illness, because that's just wrong on so many levels. And if you know anyone who does, please call them out on their bullshit. And second of all, if you're ever planning on getting into a relationship, make sure you have a solid foundation of self, hobbies, and patterns that you have that are entirely you before you do so, because I so far have not had that. And because of that, I'm going to try and stay single until I've got me structurally sound. That seems like it's going to be a long way away, but the point of the matter is, guys, that is the story. And I hope you learnt from my lesson, although it wasn't really my lesson, it was his, but I hope you learnt from my experience with a psychopath who wants to joke about self-harm and suicide. And oh, you would love one of the breakup stories. Yeah, we broke up multiple times, me and this guy. Why didn't I see that there was something wrong here? Don't know. I was blind in love. So I hope you guys learnt from that, and I hope that story was entertaining to you in some random stretch of imagination, and you guys will see me in the next one. So make sure you subscribe so you know when the next one goes up, because it should be in 2 days, but I literally have no idea what my schedule is right now. Anyways,